Hey guys, happy Homebrew Wednesday. Hope your week's going well. I've just finished work for the day and was keen to get into doing the Homebrew Wednesday video and try and get it up for tonight. And of course you can't do one of those without pouring yourself a beer. So I've poured myself up this very nice beer. I've had it before with Alan from Shadow Beast Brewery and Luke from Potion Beercraft. It's the Epic Imp. And they call it a session IPA, so it's got all the full-bodied flavour, you know, the bitterness, the hop aroma and flavour, and the nice malt backbone of an IPA. But yeah, it's just lower in alcohol, so yeah, great tasting beer. If you see one, I'd highly recommend picking one up. Yeah, fantastic beer. On the brewing front, my Amarillo IPA is just about ready to be bottled up. I just dry hopped that a few days ago, so it's going to have about 5 days of dry hopping, and then I'll bottle that up this weekend, and then hopefully I'll have a cheeky taste test a week or so after that. So yeah, looking forward to that. But what I thought I'd talk about today is I've made a few mods to my electric brew setup. So if you haven't seen this before, this is basically my, well, I based it on the Grainfather. It's a cut down version of that. It's a lower capacity, it's 25 litres, so it's perfect for my half batches. And I've added a recirculating pump, etc., and also an inner basket. So yeah, I'll put the beer down and I'll just show you the mods that I've made since last time. So probably the main one is to do with the inner basket. So this slots inside the boiler. So the grain is, I had a grain bag which I used in here, and then I put the grain inside. But I wanted to sort of get away from the grain bag. Sort of, the Grainfather doesn't use a grain bag, it just has an inner basket which you put the grain straight in. So I already had this already pre-drilled. But the problem was, if I just put the grain straight in here, the holes are quite big and a lot of the grain's going to sort of fall through the holes. So what I've done, I'll just pop it out. I made this sort of like a false bottom, but it's a mesh false bottom. Don't know if you can see it. It's actually used to be like one of those dome sieves. I don't know if you've seen them. They have the handle for like straining. So I've taken the handles off and I've flattened it out, and then what the other thing that I've done is I've put a piece of food grade tubing around the outside. Sort of, I don't know if you can see that, it sort of fits in the groove between the stainless steel here and the mesh, so it's sort of squashed down and bent to keep that in place. And then the tubing's just joined together here. So yeah, the idea of that is that's a much finer weave and smaller holes than the holes in the basket. So that will just pop down in there. And I've sort of mucked around with it so it should sit nicely in place. Don't know if you can see it. And then the weight of the grain is just going to push that down and hopefully provide a nice seal around the outside, stop any grain particles getting underneath or around the tubing and out the big holes. But if anything does pass through the little holes, it's just going to be small stuff. It's then going to pass through the bigger holes, and yeah, so that's the plan. So hopefully that is going to mean I don't need to use a grain bag at all. And then I bought this a while ago, so this is another sieve. Looks like an old gold mining pan, and that could just, so the grain will go inside, that will sit on the top, and then the return hose will just sit on the top there and just diffuse the water. Yeah, so that's the plan. So that's probably the biggest change I made. And the other thing I did was, now that I don't need a grain bag in there, before I had the handle on the outside to lift the inner basket out once the mash had finished, but the problem with that was I was having trouble hooking the handle in, so what I've done is I've drilled a hole in each side, and the handle actually clips inside rather than outside, which just makes it easier to position the handle. So if I take the lid off, actually I don't use this lid, it's more for show than anything. What I might do is I'll take the camera off the stand and I'll flip it around and show you what's going on. Okay, so here's the inside with the bazooka screen. So I have my little tray that just sits just above this bazooka screen, and that gives the basket something to fit on. So yeah, so the basket fits in there. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. The gap between the inner basket and the boiler was quite small, and it was hard to get the handle locked into place. So now it's clipped on the inside. It's just going to make life a lot easier. So yeah, so that's the mods to the basket. So yeah, the sort of false mesh bottom and the handle. And then the other thing that I've done is, which is more just for aesthetics than anything. So I've got my pump, so when I'm doing my mash, the liquid comes out here through the pump and then back up through the return hose and into the boiler. So the other thing that I've done is, and it's just, like I say, aesthetic, I've just enclosed the pump in this little container here. So I already know which is in and out, but I just thought I'd mark it in case anyone else didn't know. Yeah, so it just sits in there, just tidies it up a little bit, makes it look a little bit more professional. So yeah, that's about it. So now I'm looking forward to doing my next brew day, so I can test everything out. So yeah, so I'm pretty happy. I don't think I want to modify too much more. Get the that just fits inside there. So yeah, the return hose just that can just be pulled down and then sits on top of the top mesh sieve there. Just like I say, it just breaks up the return liquid that's going on top of the grain, just so it doesn't disturb it too much. Yeah, so I think that's about it, guys. That's don't think there's anything else that I've changed or any other major plans at this stage. I'll just pop you back on the stand. Okay, well that's me done. I'll stop there because I know Wednesday's a busy day for everyone to be watching videos. So we'll catch you next time. I'll probably see you next Homebrew Wednesday. If you're interested in the car video that I put up, I'll be going to another couple of car shows over the next week, so yeah, look out for a couple more videos of car shows, classic cars and sort of performance 4-cylinder and rotaries and things like that. So okay guys, we'll catch you next time. Cheers, thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions just sing out and enjoy the rest of your week. Cheers.